I've been watching a lot of videos out there, and a lot of our people still don't understand how Donald Trump won the election. So I figured, why not make a video and put all the things in there why I feel that Kamala Harris lost the election. See, the Democrats, they thought they could just win the election by just calling Donald Trump weird.
As weird and creepy as J.D. Vance.
Super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. They're just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird, and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate are weird.
They even said Trump was Adolf Hitler.
Deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler.
Drew Barrymore said that the country needed a big hug and that Kamala should be Mamala.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
This Kamala Harris supporter was even yelling at a Donald Trump supporter's kid. Did black people actually think that Kamala Harris was black?
Black America says that Kamala Harris's mother is an East Indian. Kamala Harris's father's father is a white slave owner.
That's right.
Kamala Harris's father, who's a Marxist and a communist, is who taught Kamala Harris. If you're going to put a black person in the White House, don't shame us by giving us somebody who's really of another identity and just has dark skin.
Let's take a look at Kamala Harris's family. Kamala Harris says she was a gun owner and she owned a Glock.
Have you shot a gun?
Yes, I have.
Well, tell us about the last time.
No.
No, but do you like hunt or like what do you do?
I'm a good marksman. Yes, I have shot a gun many times.
You're a good marks person with a pistol or a rifle?
A pistol. And I'm not, that's it. I'm not going any further with this.
Concealed weapon permit or...
I'm not going any further with this.
Let's not forget Kamala Harris's agenda for black male voters.
For simple marijuana possession. And the impact is such that, in particular, Black Americans and Latinos are 4 times more likely to be arrested.
No one should go to jail for smoking weed. That's what Kamala Harris said in a radio show during her town hall recently. Harris is promising to legalize recreational marijuana if elected, stating that black men are disproportionately affected and arrested for it. This is part of her campaign's new opportunity agenda, which is specifically targeted at black male voters.
They thought we were stupid and we didn't even know how to vote.
It's harder for black people to go online.
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And
let's not forget about the Pop the Balloon challenge. They specifically put this out to show black men that if we didn't vote and bow down to black women, then it could be a possibility that we wouldn't get no sex.
Well, ladies, I'm Trey. It's good to be here.
Hey, Trey.
Hey, hey.
So, what do you do and how much do you make?
I work in finance, making 6 figures.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Okay. Do you work out?
I like to stay active, yeah.
Do you have a plan to vote?
I didn't plan on it.
And Lizzo said that if Kamala Harris won the election, the whole world would look like Detroit.
If Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit.
Yeah, that'll get voters on your side to make the whole world look like Detroit. Kamala Harris even told us that we needed to stay woke.
We have to stay woke. Everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
She even tried to win us over with a Martin Luther King, "I Have a Dream" speech.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning.
She blamed the economy on Trump, and he wasn't even in office.
Frankly, exhausted of Brett.
More than
People are
70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans.
And don't forget about the family who asked Kamala Harris how she would bring down the high cost of living.
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. Now here we are, and our mortgage is incredibly higher than what we thought it would be. And we really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
She didn't have no real plan on how to do it, so she just gave him a word salad.
Yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging, which is when, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones, they take advantage of.
An eternity later.
But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership. Look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home.
3 days later.
Part of my plan is what we need to do to support small businesses, because my second mother was a small business owner, and I love our small businesses. And
remember when Tim Walz lied about being in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square massacre?
Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on. Now, look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times. Many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught.
So she picked a lying knucklehead. So she picked a lying knucklehead. During Kamala Harris's campaign, I wanted to catch some of her speeches. And I was like, damn, I wasn't able to catch none of them. But I didn't actually miss anything because all her speeches are the same.
I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood with a working mother who kept a strict budget. I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood with a working mother who kept a strict budget. I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood with a working mother who kept a strict budget. I come from the middle class. I know what I'm talking about. I come from the middle class. I come from the middle class.
She's awkward. She's uncomfortable in her own skin.
Okay, now I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that.
No passion behind it, no real genuine or no sincerity behind it.
Prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high. You know it and I know it. While inflation is down and wages are up, prices are still too high. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it.
It was just a robotic, weird, over-rehearsed speech, and it was the same speech again and again and again.
Someone who suggests we should terminate
The Constitution of the United States should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again.
This video is not so much that I like Trump or I give a damn about Trump being in office over Kamala Harris. I'm just showing y'all some of my thoughts on why Kamala Harris lost. I'm not for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, but I'm glad that Kamala Harris didn't win. Make sure y'all check out the next video. Hit ISUPK Delaware, on all social media platforms. And, give us a like, thumb up the channel. And, yeah, let's keep it going. ISUPK all day.